Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of To The Point Podcast. I'm your host, Noah Warren. Hope everybody's doing well on this Wednesday. It's Wednesday, October 12th, which to some people is the actual start of the NHL season. I talked about the start of the NHL season for a number of days, but there seems to be this constant change of when the season starts. To me, it started last night. I watched a game and a half and then the third period of another game this morning, and I enjoyed it. I got to view all of it, got to soak it in, got to watch a lot of pretty decent hockey for the first night of the season. But for some four American teams, four teams you're not going to track, so you look past last night. Maybe it's a baseball evening. Maybe you watch something else. Maybe you get on Netflix and you watch the latest Jeffrey Dahmer documentary that they're making. So many serial killer documentaries right now, which let's go on this tangent to start the show. Why not? I watched the Dahmer show with Ethan Peters. He's very good in it. Or Evan Peters, I apologize. And I didn't think it was cringy. He was great acting, but the way they produced the product, the way they displayed it, I didn't think it was very good. To honestly, I think they made Jeffrey Dahmer look positive when the guy's a serial killer. He's one of the worst human beings to ever roam the earth. But I start to think about it, and I am a cynic. I often point out the negative parts of the world, so I apologize if this seems like something you've heard before from me. But we see now in media where every new show has something to do with a serial killer, it seems like. And I'm talking about just real people. How many documentaries, how many shows did they make about Ted Bundy? And it didn't matter that 90% of them were crap. I only watched two of them. I think there's at least 10 on Netflix. And I'm not being hyperbolic here. There was a lot of content about Ted Bundy. A guy that doesn't deserve that much content, quite frankly. That doesn't deserve a movie about him. To me, you make a movie about a historical event. 9/11, yeah, you can make a movie because it changed the world. The Boston bombings, things of that nature, Miracle on Ice, these big moments in life, you can document them and then you can make a film. Titanic, you didn't need to make a film. It was sad. It wasn't that big of a disaster. Think about it. Think about hurricanes. Think about all the things we've seen. Think about Haiti, and you had to make a movie about the Titanic. That, quite frankly, Titanic was a shit movie. Shit. That is one of my hotter takes. I think it's a crap movie. DiCaprio's a god. He's one of the best actors of his generation. Doesn't change the fact that that movie sucked. By the way, he could have fit on that life raft, but Jodie Foster wouldn't move over. Shit movie. Just shit. But back to this. And we will get to sports, but I like to go on tangents. Why is there so much content on serial killers? Why is that the appetite of people right now? Why aren't people watching Better Call Saul? Why aren't people watching Blackbird? Why aren't people watching good show? Watch Superstore on Netflix, really good half-hour comedy. That's not what's being absorbed. They had to make a John Wayne Gacy show, and they had to throw him into the Dahmer documentary so that people would get excited about this other one. It was targeted marketing, and they did it in a show. This Dahmer piece with Peters wasn't a documentary. It was a show, and it was targeted marketing in the show. But my bigger problem here is we're promoting serial killer crazy behavior. By putting more and more content out there of serial killers, we're only promoting it more. We're only documenting it more and more. That's a problem to me. I don't understand why that's the way we're going in media, why we're going with producers of television products. So the shift has been we can't tell a joke anymore, but we can make serial killer doc after serial killer doc. To me, this only makes our society worse. We talk about all the bad stuff we've done in the past, and yes, human history, of course. There's things that we can definitely change, we can get better at. But to me, thinking, okay, we're going to get rid of the comedy genre altogether because every joke you make now is basically can be offensive. You have to be careful. You have to parse every word you say because who knows who might be listening? Who knows who might be offended? But now in this new pop culture world, instead of offending people, let's make 80 documentaries about serial killers. Let's make 80 documentaries about Ted Bundy. Let's make a Ted Bundy movie with Zac Efron that sucked. And let's throw Jim Parsons in the movie. Okay, great. It was a shit product. But it's also giving light to Ted Bundy and his lifestyle, the way he went about life. I just notice things in pop culture. I point them out in sports when I notice these themes. I hate it. Why is comedy gone, yet serial killers remain prevalent? Showing what people did in the past. There's so many fucking crazy people in this world. For all you listening out there, you're probably thinking times, I'm crazy. I think all the time. I think I'm nuts. I'm not nuts compared to these people. I got some screws loose, no doubt about it. They got a whole fucking box of screws. But I just find it perverse. I don't understand it. That with all the content, there's a lot of good content out right now. There's a lot of really good shows that are out, but yet all that's at the forefront are serial killer documentaries. That's what we need to watch. That's what the appetite for people is. Why? And I'm not immune to it. I watched this stupid Dahmer show. It was shit. It was shit. And I watched 10 episodes of it. And I felt worse every episode I watched. I did. I've watched Criminal Minds. I watched the whole damn show. Again, promoting serial killers. I don't understand why the serial killers of our past are being brought back to life now. We're giving them more spotlight. We're giving them what they wanted, to be remembered. And thinking about this Dahmer show, I feel terrible for the victims' families that had to go through this again. That probably had to see a rendition of their loved ones dying that wasn't accurate. Was all of those, I guarantee they weren't accurate. They were depictions. But at least if you're going to kill somebody off, do it correctly. When you write an obituary, you don't write falsehoods in it. You don't put lies. You write about the person's life. What happened in this person's life? That's what you document. Not what you wanted their life to be, not what you thought it might be. What happened? I've written obituaries. They're extremely difficult. You have to talk to parents. You have to learn about these people. Part of getting a journalism degree, you have to write an obituary. One of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Talking to these families is not easy. I can't imagine going through it. This is on people producing it, but it's also, this is a message to me. It's a message to everyone. Why are these serial killer and this is a promise from me. I'm not watching any more of them. The Gacy, I see that's on Netflix now. It's already in the top 10, of course. I'm not watching it. I'm not. Because it's only doing what they want. Then they'll make something else about a serial killer that we all soak up. You show somebody bad behavior, sometimes people latch on to bad behavior. Some people latch on to what's in front of them. And they'll do what they think is right. And for some crazy people, killing people is the right thing to do. Now, do I think that? No, I don't. But some people have that opinion. I don't understand it. I don't know why this is the new trend, why this is the shift, but it is. I didn't want to start the show off with the rant today. Although I did title this episode Hot Start, so it is fitting. It was about the New York Rangers. I had to get that rant off my chest because I don't know why we are giving credence. Why directors, producers, writers of television are giving these types of people more limelight. Because quite frankly, they don't deserve it. They don't deserve any of it. We should forget what they did. We should push it out on what they did so that the next generation of people don't have a fucking clue. Erase it from the record books. Erase it from history. You could argue explosions, terrorist attacks, get rid of them in culture so people don't know.